Hi, this is Bill, the Tactical Accountant. Welcome to my channel. Today, we will be discussing an overview of EDC or Everyday Carry Knives, how to choose a knife for you. So knives have to have an important attribute that is, for me, easy to open, deploy, and carry. So you have to go carry it and make it convenient, so I would have it with me. And I would like to have it so that it opens up fairly easily. So some knives that, like I mentioned earlier, you can put in your pocket, okay? But it is hard to open with one hand. You have to really get creative. Two hands, yes, quite easy, okay? And that goes with your typical little ones you get from convenience stores. You pick up a knife there, $10 later, okay? You're operational, but not as handy as I would like. They're fine, they're lightweight. But sometimes I like to have one that's a little bit easier, that goes in your pocket, that you can clip it to your pocket, take it out as you need to, and then open it up. This is a thumb stud opening and a deep carry clip. So when we make deep carry clips means is that it comes up and it does not go above the knife handle. What it means is that when it goes into your pocket, it goes into the pocket and mostly disappears. So, oops, sorry about putting that camera. If you would see just a small portion of it. A dark clip helps, but you see a small portion. Some colors work better. There is a blue one that we have, and do you have it? There's a blue handled one. Oh well, that's okay. Other deep carry ones would be this one here from Salt. It's a black one. It's got a puck. Okay, I got this. I'll take it in. Thank you. So this is a blue version of it. If you wear blue or this type of color, you can see that again, it fits in the pocket and very little of it's exposed. If you wear mostly dark pants, navy blue, black, dark gray, then maybe a simple black works and becomes very unobtrusive. So no one's thinking that you're carrying something there. Okay, so it makes it easy to use. And you can open it. Of course, it opens with your pocket as well, such as this one here. This one, oops, this one doesn't. Regular thumb open, Spyderco, okay? And we'll talk about unique features of this one soon. But in terms of opening it, it's that easy. You put it in your pocket, okay? You pull it out, and with your thumb, open it up. Some people use other fingers because they get creative. If you want to use your index finger, go right ahead. But thumb works fine. You can do the thumb hole drop, okay? Different things you want to get fancy with it. Why you would pull it up out of your pocket, then turn it around, flip it, and then shuffle your grip and not cut your fingers, which, things happen. So I would say that, keep it simple, try to get really practice with it. Tape the edges with some tape so you don't accidentally cut yourself while you're practicing opening up in a more fanciful way. Any event. So goes in your pocket, comes out fast and easy. That's a nice handy feature. This one here is not black clip, it's a silver one. So if you're going to carry, you want to be discreet, then you're going to want to paint it black. I could play some Rolling Stones in the background, but it'll be a copyright infringement, so not this time. And then you want to be able to pull it out. You draw it back out, pocket open, and opens up. You have mostly still a grip. So with that, I still have a 4-finger grip. Okay, ideally it should be here, but the way I pull it out, that's where my fingers line up. And I like this leaf design because it creates a wide wound opening in your werewolf that's attacking you. So attacked by your neighborhood werewolf, you would like to have something that is a bit bigger, 4 1/4 inch blade or so. It is quite substantial, and because of the wide leaf design, it actually cuts very well. Good for food prep. So when I take this out to hiking, I like the fact that it will cut, bread, sausages, lots of stuff, really, really slicey thin. And that's a nice feature about this because of the way this thing is designed on the blade. It's pretty much the same thickness throughout. It's a nice gradient. It cuts well, okay? Some things cut different than others because of the design. This was meant to just be very slicey. And it deploys well. I added this twist tie thing at the end. Without it, it'd be just like these ones here where you put it in and then you have to take it out and you have to use your thumb. This one here still has the thumb opening, but with the addition of a zip tie that you put through here, then when it goes in your pocket and you pull it out, it just opens. You don't have to do another motion, and that saves time. So let's see what the difference in time would be between one versus the other, and let's see if that makes a difference to you in your analysis. Okay, so putting in the standard one, you bring it in, you pull it out, open. Fairly simple, fairly smooth and fast. The other one would be, I go in, I pull it out, and it's open. Now, it's not just this company that you can modify. You have any of these spider type holes, the bird family, I guess it is a Spyderco, okay? And the, I just had it here a moment ago. So you can also buy a factory, an aftermarket attachment to go onto your knife so that it would do the same thing and open up, like putting this little ramp on here, okay? The inventor of this is Emerson, and he he has an agreement with Kershaw in which they can put it on their knives. Same with Spyderco, they have one too, I believe, and they can do the same one. This is a small one, barely a 3-inch blade. Again, goes in your pocket, and try to put it all the way in. Pull it out, snaps out, okay? And my favorite from the Kershaw line is this one here, the CQC 8K. I'll put links in here so you can see what they are, the actual descriptions in a text box for you guys later. But opens up, the knife feel is much more substantial. It's 3 inches versus 3.5, so it may not look like there's a big difference, but it comes up feeling, yeah, this is a small knife, and this one here is a good solid size knife. I would rate this as a small. I can barely get my 4 fingers on here, but still manageable. This one feels like there's room to use this end to hammer with. Not that you would normally use a knife handle to hammer, but the finger ramp on here is your pocket opening, and it does have backup thumb disc to open up as well. Works out fine. So you can deploy it, use your thumb studs. Okay, what's different about the Emerson ones from Kershaw is that they are only beveled on one side. So I'm not sure you can see it, but there's a bevel on one side and the other side's flat. It's called chisel grind, and some like it, they say it's easier to sharpen for one side. It doesn't seem to affect much of what I do, whether I'm cutting food with it or if I'm using it for work. I took a course with the county on fire making, and it worked just well. Surprisingly, I used a couple of knives in that trip, and that was one. And the other one was, where did it go? It was my, the one I often carry now, which is my CRKT 2. I have a CRKT 2 here. Okay. I'll dig out a moment. Okay. CRKT 2 from my jacket pocket. Okay. So you can see that it's the bird design with, from Spyderco, 8-0 steel. So it's more of a budget-friendly blade. I think it's what, $50 when I bought it. 40, no, a little bit less, maybe 45 Canadian dollars. So very economical. But I like the fact that this one here deploys very rapidly, very good grip. So when I put my hands on it, it is super grippy. So when it's wet, it's cold, I have a solid grip on it. Very well designed. It's thin, slices well for food prep, which is a common thing, or for boxes, envelopes, cuts exceedingly well. Okay, so I like a flat grind because I find it very useful for what I'm doing. This is a flat grind again, but there are little bit of serrations on this one here. This is again a big pocket knife, 5.5-inch blade, but a very thick, wide 5.5 inches. Still fits inside the pocket quite well. I'm not sure you see from this angle, but it seems to still fit quite well. Okay, and when it comes out, it is still quite big. Yes, when you open it, it is quite big compared to my first knife, which I said was a version of this one here called Delica. This open knife is just about the size of the hand, not less than the size of the handle, way less wide. Okay, my first Spyderco knife, well, the one with plastic handles and plastic clip. This is a better version, and this one here, way bigger. You could chop things with it. And in reviews by Joe X, it is a very, very durable knife as well. Okay, bigger, 7.5 ounces, I believe it is, 8 ounces. It's quite heavy. Okay, and it does take up a lot of pocket real estate because you put this in here, you don't have room for your common other things that you have. Okay, which would be a maybe a flashlight, a small Swiss Army knife. Okay, a very common item that they'll give you that you want to have is a battery bank. You might have to toss one of those in here. I have a small one that I usually carry for my everyday carry, and it is could have sworn it was here. Okay, right here. A little bit smaller, gives me a full charge. So for some reason I go down low and it's light, but still about as much as this knife. Okay, so with that, yes, your pocket space, is a big knife better? Size matters, definitely having a big enough knife, but bring it out to Dairy Queen and say, oh, I'd like to redeem this coupon, and you want to cut a coupon, they might have a heart attack. So maybe a small knife might be more socially acceptable. So deployment. Now, I like what about some of these knives here, the Emerson, is that it will open from left pocket, reverse grip. Okay, so with that, it's very handy. So sometimes you want to use your defensive posture, you pull it out here and you have your knife in defensive posture. Okay, if you want to go into a forward movement, you could, right, with these ones here. So with that, you would have a good option. Whoever else have 2 arms, you want to delimb them. Okay, or you might have trees that need delimbing. Either way, these big ones are good for that purposes. If you want to make it into little feather sticks, these will work just fine. Okay. But back if you're doing feather sticking, I spent time outside the backyard trying to play with my knives to see which ones will work well and doing some basic fire making. I could work with this one here, but it was not as easy as using my Mora knife. That was much better. Small blade, but surprisingly quite capable. And then I had a recent favorite now called the Joker line when I was in Spain. So in Barcelona, I picked these up here and picked up a couple of dozen knives on them. Really like them, they fit well. But again, for everyday carry, not as ideal because it takes up a lot of pocket real estate. And again, it weighs quite a bit. And if you're doing running shorts, you're not doing this. So for me, I had to have one that was always available, lightweight. And it came down to, of my 300 or so knives, I started favoring the CRKT and of course the Benchmade. Okay, so these ones are, because they weigh so little, and that becomes important because the more gear you have, asking any ultralight hikers watch some of those videos here, and you really focus on it. This knife here is way heavier than this one, and it's smaller, but because it's way thicker steel. The steel is substantially thicker on this knife, and that creates a lot of weight. The cold steel, the SR1, and this SR1 Light, because it uses a budget-friendly steel, it is a very durable one. So if I know I'm going to be carrying, doing some hikes, this is now my go-to carry knife when I'm going out in the woods. Okay, because I know this one has been tested very extremely and will survive. And it's quite, again, budget friendly. It's in that $60, $70 range. Okay, probably 70 now. And so it's pretty good. Other knives are a different purpose, but deployment wise, it's got a very stiff clip. You saw me struggling with it. It was not easy. It's a clip design. Okay, you'll find that the Spyderco knives come out easier. Kershaw's, most of them are pretty easy to work with. Okay, soft ones are pretty good. I had a few. Gonzo is a Chinese brand that takes inspirations from North American brands, and they seem to work decently well with the deployment. I'll show you this one as well. Okay, so don't be afraid to see these knives out there. They're good quality. Use 440C steel, which is decent. Oops, but it doesn't always pocket deploy. what's nice is that you have a crossbar lock, so you could use it from left or right side, okay? And of course, you can move the clip from left to right. So if you're left-handed, you want to have clips that can go left-handed, or it opens easily for you if you're left hand. So make sure your knives have that ability. Some are so discreet that you could, oh, enough of this jacket, okay? Oops, a few more here. Okay, in your pocket, you could carry a Swiss Army knife, especially going to airports. Easy to carry. Sometimes you might have one that says, well, some knives are not as easy to carry. Okay, so we have a Kershaw Tanto 12-inch blade, and it is very, very bulky. And I would not consider this easy to work with for cutting fruit, unless it's a watermelon, and possibly, definitely not for clipping coupons. So, okay, so just continue on from a few more things. You can use ones that are very discreet in your pocket. This is CEO. I was going to put if you wear silver shirts a lot, you're fine. Otherwise, nail polish, paint over the clip. But it comes out, okay, and it's a very lightweight, easy work knife. Has a thumb slot opening, or it has a flipper tab. I prefer flipper tabs just until my finger hurts. Then I use my thumb. Okay, very compact, lightweight, not as slicey because it doesn't have as much depth as just like the Spyderco Resilience. So if you cut, it tends to like wiggle just a bit. You have to really keep it on track, especially if doing things. Oh, almost like some cheese, or okay, have a block of ham. You probably want something here. I mean, you can almost use like a boning knife, but this one here works for general slicing. Very stabby, okay, and stabby is important in case werewolves, but sometimes a big wound channel is really good too. Okay. Anyway, other ones you might have is you wear a tie, but you want to have a tie clip. But you have a tie clip. You couldn't even see it from there because it was covered by the tie. If you rewind and take a look yourself, but again, very easy to open up. Okay, one-handed. A Kershaw blade, again in the 50-60 range. I think it's 50. Okay, maybe less. It was when I bought it. I know when I bought it, it was like $40. Okay, that was taxed in. So, but has a clip. You can clip it to a keychain. So these are good. I'll go over some reviews and details, but just show how we carry these things. Okay, another one that you can carry is a shark lock. Opens multiple ways. We'll talk about this one here. Very nice blade. A little bit pricey. Again, over 100, but I like the fact that you can just use your thumb, open it up. Okay, even a lefty, and works pretty good that way. Okay, different ways of carrying this anymore. I don't know. Oh yeah, of course. You could carry one inside your waistband. Pocket knives don't have to be in pocket, they can be in your waistband, and it works really, really well. Big, slender, and gives good penetration. Okay, I like the design because it's got a special tip, a design where it allows you to try things in. Let's say you had to get out of a building, get into a building, stick that into the door area, create a wedge, and away you go. Okay, so with that, you can carry bigger knives in. Again, not coupon friendly. For picnics, people get nervous, and for office functions, when people might think that thing's huge. I said, well, thank you. And that is the, oh yeah, there's something else. I'm trying to think of what it was. Oh, right, okay. I don't have one. I have more than one of these because they're so much fun. The Kershaw Kobun, okay. The Kobun is meant to be a soldier, maybe a gangster feeling, but really a lightweight knife. And I bought this on many trips. As you can see from the other one, where's my other Kobun? I just put it down. Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, there it is. You can see it. I was hammering on this, betoning. All I had was a mallet, a metal mallet, mini sledgehammer. I said, I didn't bring my axe. I thought I brought my axe with me, didn't. So I used this. It can take betoning quite well. Okay, it doesn't have a full flat grind. It's more of a, what do you call it, a hollow grind, and which means it's slicey. The first part, allegedly fragile, but I was hammering through probably 4-inch wood, at least 3.5 inch thick, no problem. So if you're thinking it's fragile, compared to what? Maybe the 12-inch version, which is a millimeter thicker. Maybe against this fixed blade that I had over here, which is thicker. But it was no problem going through large logs, well, different size logs, size of my arm. Okay, which is what you usually get when you buy camp site firewood. It's kind of chopped and a little bit split, but if it's wet, you got to cut it down or trim it down and split it and get to the dry stuff. Okay, so works fine. Any of these would, well, most of these were done well on that with fire making. Okay, that covers off the pocket deployments, and some items like the Opinel you can just toss into your pocket. Okay, yeah, and you take it back out. It's slim, easy to work with, and you know, sure it locks, but you gotta like do the twisty thing with it, and then open the slot here, and then it opens up, and it doesn't really lock until you twist it, and then it locks, and then you would twist it back to the open position, and it slides back. Okay, two-handed operation. It's a very classic knife. Comes in stainless, which this one is, and non-stainless, which I prefer stainless because there's a lot less maintenance to worry about. Sure, there's some advantage to carbon in many cases, but I like the stain resistance. That's a feature I enjoy. Okay, I think that covers off this area. Thank you. Oh wait, but one more. You know, it's small, but once you get your fingers in there, it is really powerful, and it gets stuff done. Okay, it's still got about a 2-inch blade, but and you can work it backwards a bit. I find this is the normal way, but clips to your belt, and yeah, guess what? Airport friendly. Maybe I wouldn't say all 60 countries, but 7 countries I went through with this. Airport was fine. There was a museum that was not happy with me. Okay, but they gave it back to me, so quite good. Okay. In fact, museums were really diligent on checking for knives in Europe and Middle East. Okay, thank you. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you want to see. Stay sharp and see you next time.